bit of a short history lesson. And LinkedIn came out of a couple of people that wanted to start a networking site, professionals meeting other professionals in a very formal business environment. Blogging, on the other hand, that's kind of the granddaddy of the social media spectrum. So it was not a way for folks to say, this is what I'm about. It's a way for people to tell their story. So let's talk about LinkedIn. There are really two rules that I have for LinkedIn. The first is that it's really all about your profile. And the second rule about LinkedIn is that it's all about making and using your connections. So once you understand those two rules, it's a lot easier to go on LinkedIn and figure out how to use it to engage your customers and encourage your business. When you create your profile, you talk about your experiences. The whole goal is to talk about your experiences, talk about a summary of what you do, and that helps other people understand what you can do for them. And by sharing those accomplishments, that's how you build your network. People find you, they talk about how they can help you and how you can help them engage each other's business and make each other successful. In using your profile, now that you have it, right, you want to start using it to expand your network. So you use your profile to connect to others on LinkedIn. And there are lots of ways that people can connect to you, and people use those same ways for you to connect to them. You can use it to start talking and answering business questions. It's a forum for you to ask questions, business questions about your industry, about your group, about your business, and it's a forum for other people to answer questions. There's a section for jobs. And that's actually kind of new on LinkedIn. The jobs and answer section is actually relatively new. And that job section gives you the opportunity to actually search for jobs and contracts within your industry, within your group, within your contacts. What's not in the toolbar, but what is on the left-hand bar when you go on LinkedIn, you're going to see a section for groups. And those groups are where you'll find the opportunity to connect to other folks with like-minded interests in your industry or your geographic region. And the last point is actually a question that I want to answer. A lot of folks, they come and they say, you know what, I don't have the time to track this LinkedIn thing every day. And the fact of the matter is that LinkedIn is not, again, it was designed for business professionals. LinkedIn is really very good at letting you decide how often you want to use your profile, how often you want to check in on your profile. So how do you make the most of your profile? If you do not have a business profile and you have a personal profile, consider creating a business profile. People can search on business profiles just like they do on personal profiles, and they'll find your business just like they find you. LinkedIn has a section for recommendations, and this is actually kind of very much underutilized. And this is the part that actually takes the most work. It's being able to connect and receive recommendations from other people. You want positive reviews, just like you do on any online commerce site. And you want positive reviews that talk about you and your credibility. I don't want to overstate it, but I really can't, is that it's about understanding how to expand your network. So do not be afraid to ask for introductions. You want people to find you. If you want someone to find you, tell them that you exist. So how are others using LinkedIn, right? So this is how you build your profile, but how do others use them? A lot of times people use them to research competition. Lots of recruiters use LinkedIn. A very recent introduction to LinkedIn was the ability for you to put tweet-like messages in LinkedIn talking about what you're doing. LinkedIn actually has profiles that connect to blogs now. If you have a WordPress blog, which we'll talk about later, you can actually connect your LinkedIn profile with your blog. So when you update your blog, it shows up on LinkedIn. And that's another way for people to search and connect to your blog and know more about you. Let's talk about blogs, and I just mentioned this. What's a blog? A blog is short for weblog, and it's, as I said earlier, it's written as a narrative or a journal, and it's important to think about it as an online news editorial. And you want to design your blog. You want to, again, it's a marketing and brand recognition. So how do we know that people know that this is your blog? And the first way they're going to do it is visually. So put your logo on your blog. Don't be afraid to put your logo. Don't be afraid to have design elements that match your website. Hardest part about starting a blog is picking a topic. And and I get this a lot. What should I blog about? What should I talk about? And that's really up to you. There's really not a whole lot of advice other than to say that it really needs to be part of your industry. You want to blog about something that other people are going to read about. I got a question once. I got a question a lot. It talks about blogging and websites. Should I have my website be my blog? Should I have my blog be my website? What is the difference? A blog focuses on one item, on one particular topic that you're writing about at that time. Your website is not like that. It's a static page. It's going to talk about your company as a whole. It's going to talk about your group of products that you offer as a wide range. It's going to talk about all the people in your organization, your contact information. It talks about a whole range of topics that your blog will not necessarily cover. You want to blog regularly. How often? It's a tough question to answer. It really depends on how critical you want it to be your business. Your topic needs to be pertinent, and I know we talked about this earlier about how to pick a topic, but it's okay to digress every now and then. A lot of blog entries, they don't have to be very, remember your website is formal, your blog is not. Your blog makes you the expert, so you want to get people thinking, you want to get people coming back. When you have a blog entry, you want your bloggers to come back and say, hey, this was interesting, I'm going to come back again. So I'm going to go through very quickly some tips and tricks. You want to give your comments. Some blogs allow comments, some blogs do not. If you have comments, make sure that you expect them, and if you expect them, make sure you respond to them. People are going to comment. You want to have a point, and you want to support your statements. Your blog is not going to do two things. It is not going to make everyone your friend. I will tell you that right now. Okay? It is not going to write itself. You need to update your blog every now and then. You need to write it. You need to understand some people are going to disagree with your opinion. These are two blogs, it's in your handouts, the websites are at the bottom, but these are two examples of blogs that I see. And the first is actually from Google. It talks about how other folks use their mapping technology to advance their products. So it's a great example of a blog. And the other is actually ZDNet.com. It talks about, it's actually a set of journalists who turn their news site from a newspaper site to actually a blogging site. And every journalist just blogs now. They talk about news industry events and happenings.